What's happening right now doesn't fit the usual pattern people have been watching for years. There's no loud announcement, no countdown, no breaking banner across financial TV. Instead, the signals are quiet, fragmented, and easy to miss if you're only looking at the surface. Over the past several weeks, a growing number of reports have pointed to a shift behind the scenes, not speculation about what might happen, but signs that systems long kept in standby now active. The common thread across these reports is timing. Something appears to have moved from preparation into execution. For a long time, many currency holders expected one clear moment, a public confirmation that would tell everyone at once that the waiting phase was over. What's emerging now suggests that expectation may have been wrong. Instead of a single public trigger, the process seems to be unfolding quietly, through controlled channels and stages. Multiple independent sources describe internal banking systems changing status. Tools that were once limited to testing environments are reportedly running live operations. Appointment platforms that sat unused for months are said to be active again, though not visible to the general public. Access appears selective, limited to people who already meet certain criteria. This shift has caught many observers off guard, not because the idea of change is new, but because of how it's happening. There's no media campaign, no official statements spelling out timelines, just movement inside institutions that normally don't move unless they have authorization to do so. One of the most notable aspects is the way information is moving. Instead of press releases, it's coming through screenshots, system confirmations, and first-hand accounts shared privately. These details are not flashy, they're procedural. Appointment references, status codes, internal messages that suggest live processing rather than planning. Another detail that stands out is geography. Activity is not being reported in one isolated area. Mentions keep surfacing across multiple regions in the United States, with repeated references to states like Texas, Florida, and Nevada. On their own, these reports might seem unremarkable. Taken together, they start to form a pattern. Outside the United States, there are similar signs. Analysts watching institutional data in major financial hubs have pointed out unusual volume behavior tied to currency instruments connected to Iraq and Vietnam. Public exchange rates look unchanged, but deeper layers of the market are showing activity that doesn't match normal seasonal or commercial flows. This type of movement usually comes from large players positioning ahead of something they expect, not reacting after the fact. That's why some observers believe the most important changes may already be underway, just not visible to retail participants yet. At the same time, wealth management firms appear to be adjusting how they structure portfolios. There's a noticeable push toward liquidity, less emphasis on long-duration assets, more focus on capital that can move quickly if needed. These shifts are often explained as cautious positioning, but the timing and coordination raise questions. There's also renewed interest in physical assets like gold and silver, particularly through long-term storage rather than short-term trades. Historically, that kind of behavior tends to show up around periods of monetary transition, not during routine market cycles. Central banks are part of this picture as well. Iraq has made a series of regulatory and administrative changes that initially looked like routine housekeeping. Now, viewed together, they resemble preparation. Vietnam's monetary authorities have held closed sessions with little follow-up. Zimbabwe has adjusted legal definitions around currency use in ways that caught attention after the fact. Individually, none of these actions confirm anything. Together, they suggest coordination, or at least alignment, across systems that normally don't move in sync without reason. Another recurring theme is silence. People who were once very vocal in currency circles have gone quiet. Accounts that posted daily updates suddenly stopped. Some view this as coincidence. Others see it as a sign that certain individuals have moved past the discussion phase and into execution, where discretion matters. There are also claims of private exchanges governed by strict confidentiality. These reports often include references to non-disclosure agreements, staged access, and structured settlements. While none of this is publicly verifiable, the consistency of the stories across unrelated networks is what keeps people paying attention. If this narrative is accurate, then the biggest risk right now in missing a headline, it's being unprepared if access becomes time-sensitive. That's why the focus for many holders has shifted away from watching news and toward practical readiness. That means knowing exactly what you hold, verifying authenticity, organizing denominations, having identification, purchase records, and source of funds documentation ready. Not because something is guaranteed, but because delays often punish the unprepared. The key takeaway from all of this is simple. Major financial changes rarely announce themselves to everyone at once. They tend to move quietly through controlled channels first, reaching those who are ready before becoming obvious to the broader public. Whether this moment turns out to be as significant as some believe remains to be seen. But the pattern itself is real. Systems moving quietly, institutions positioning early, silence where noise was expected. At times like this, preparation matters more than prediction.